Every month you set new goals. The only thing is, they are not new goals. They are the same goals you set last month and the month before that, maybe even last year. Girl, you don't need to set new goals. What you need is discipline. This is episode 2 of my Becoming That Woman series, and we're talking discipline. In the first episode, we talked about having goals towards our physical appearance, our finances, hobbies, lifestyle, health, and the likes. You need discipline to achieve any goal you set. Discipline is a thin line between your goals as mere goals and your goals as achievements. I'm going to give you guys 2 definitions of discipline that I got from the internet. Discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. Discipline refers to a set of rules and regulations which are to be followed while undergoing any task or activity. It is a way of being honest, hardworking, motivated, and encouraged while doing any task. I think the last definition gives a better understanding of discipline. It is a way of being honest, hardworking, motivated, and encouraged while doing any task, regardless of how you feel. For example, if you set goals to wake up every day by 5 and then be at the gym by 6, but for some reason you slept by, let's say, 12 a.m. the night before, I'm sure by 5 o'clock you'd probably still be feeling sleepy. You probably still want to sleep more, right? But a disciplined person would get up by 5, regardless of the feeling of sleepiness or regardless of you being sleepy, right? You get up by 5 o'clock because you've already set that goal for yourself that you get up by 5 o'clock, let's say for like a week, and then go to the gym by 6. So that's just a basic example of being disciplined. You can never go wrong with being disciplined. Discipline is key. It's very important in every aspect of our lives, be it your personal life, your relationship with others, your business life, your work life. Discipline, you just need to have it, okay? Start with clear goals. You need to clearly state out the things you want to achieve and why you want to achieve them. That way, you have a direction to work towards. Setting clear goals makes it easier for you to work towards your goals and in turn, achieve them. I'll give you an instance. Marian says she wants to go to the gym to look good. Judith says she knows she weighs 150 pounds, so she wants to go to the gym to drop to 120 and look more toned within the next 6 months. Now, both Marian and Judith have goals, right? Marian's goal is to go to the gym to look good. Judith's goal is obviously to look good as well, but it's more defined, it's clearly stated. She wants to drop from 150 pounds to 120. She wants to look more toned, and there's even a deadline. There's a time frame for when she should achieve these things, 6 months. Now, what exactly measures up to looking good for Marian? And when exactly does she stop? Or when does she expect to reach this goal of looking good? She'd probably just be in the gym every day, doing whatever routine and looking in the mirror every day until she starts noticing her weight loss. Now, I'm not saying that goals can be achieved with this mindset. However, what I'm saying is that it is easier to achieve goals when they are clearly stated. And you also get to be more disciplined when your goals are clearly stated out and measurable. Now, back to Judith and Marian. If there's ever a day where they both don't feel like going to the gym, in Marian's situation, she could be like, oh well, I already lost some weight, so I could just skip for a day or 2 because she already lost some weight. Now, in Judith's situation, if she's here to drop to 120, and let's say the deadline for this goal is in 2 months' time or a month and 2 weeks' time, that would probably push her to stand up and go to the gym, right? That would push her to get up and go do what she needs to do. So when you're setting goals, make sure you set clear goals, break larger goals into smaller and easier steps, and ensure your goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Okay? Create a routine. A routine is a sequence of actions that you follow on a regular basis. Sequence basically refers to you doing things in order. In other words, having a routine means there are certain things you do in order on a regular basis. For example, you wake up by 5 a.m. every morning, you pray, you journal or meditate, and by 6, you go to the gym or you just do a little exercise in your house. By 7, you're back from the gym, you do your house chores, you cook, you eat, and then you prepare for work, whether you work from home or not. That is an example of a routine. Routines are easier to follow over time. They become a part of your daily habits. They become your habits over time. When creating routines, you shouldn't focus only on the important stuff like your work and all that, but you should also make time for yourself. It should make time for you to rest and recharge so you don't burn out. Also, your routine should tailor specifically to your needs and your abilities, not anyone else's. You know yourself better than anyone else, so don't allow any other person's routine to dictate your routine. If you usually have more energies in the evenings, then you should schedule tasks that require more energy in the evenings. If you read and assimilate better in the mornings, why not schedule your study time to be in the mornings? And whenever you usually feel lazy or tired, you can schedule your rest time or your leisure time to be within that time frame. So when creating a routine, make sure you start small, especially if these things are not things you do on a regular basis, so you don't overwhelm yourself. Also, make sure you set specific times for these things that you plan on doing every day, so that way it is easier for you to get used to these things, and over time they become habits of yours that you don't even need to think about before doing. Practice delayed gratification. This is something that I still struggle with myself. Delayed gratification basically means prioritizing long-term rewards over immediate pleasures. Personally, I'm the type of person who would rather do all my work just so I can have enough time to rest later on, because I don't want anything to interfere with my rest time. So I just do every single thing I need to do so I can rest. Now, while that is a form of delayed gratification, I still struggle with prioritizing long-term rewards over immediate pleasure. More often than not, I have chosen to have an impromptu cheat day off my no sugar week or no sugar month just because I was craving something sweet. I've also chosen an extra hour of sleep over getting up and doing the things I need to do. Now, I will personally tell you that has affected my progress in so many ways. So try as much as possible to delay your gratification, okay? Prioritize long-term rewards over immediate pleasure. And even if there happens to be a day where you don't do that, give yourself some grace. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up, okay? That's part of the process. Now, this brings me to the next point. Practice self-compassion. You should give yourself some grace more often than you beat yourself up for making mistakes. You can't get it right all the time. You can't be perfect all the time. Perfection is an illusion. So get rid of that mindset and be more lenient with yourself. Be more kind to yourself. When you make a mistake, learn from it and move on. Don't be too harsh on yourself. In the same light, do not let a setback or mistake keep you demotivated or disencouraged, okay? Don't let it hold you back. You've made a mistake, learn from it and move on. Avoid self-criticism. No matter how loud the world is around you, the loudest voice you get to hear is the one in your head. Watch how you speak to yourself and about yourself. You should be your biggest cheerleader. Now, I'm not saying you should not pay attention to the things you're doing wrong. Pay attention to those things, identify those things, and make corrections. Take notice of those areas and work towards becoming better in those areas. Be kinder to yourself, okay? Stay accountable. Accountability is a huge part of being disciplined. You need to stay accountable to yourself. And if you cannot stay accountable to yourself, if you have a hard time staying accountable to yourself, find an accountability partner or confide in a friend about your goals. That way, your friend can keep you accountable to your goals. There are different ways you can be accountable. You can have an accountability book or accountability journal where you write out the things you want to achieve and create a checklist for those things. And on a regular basis, you go back to that journal. You tick out the things you've done, the things you've not done. That way, you know how much progress you've made. Reflect regularly on your progress and make changes when needed. So let's say you have your checklist, and on your checklist you have wake up 5 a.m. in the morning, go to the gym by 6, be back home by 7, do some chores, right? Now you find that you have trouble waking up by 5. So let's say you've been waking up by 5:30, 5:45. You go back to your drawing board and think, what is the reason for this? Why do I keep waking up by 5:30 and 5:45 instead of by 5 on the dot? You could need to sleep earlier or create a better sleeping routine so you can be well rested and you don't feel tired to wake up by 5 o'clock. So yes, stay accountable. If you can't be accountable to yourself, find someone to be accountable to, whether it's a mentor, a coach, a friend or an accountability partner. It could be a family member. Just find someone that is able to hold you accountable to your words, okay? Manage your energy. I spoke about this when I talked about creating routines. Work around your energy. You know when you feel more energetic, you know when you feel lazy and tired. So schedule your tasks around your energy. When you feel energetic, you should schedule tasks that consume more energy. When you usually feel tired, schedule tasks that don't require too much energy, or you can schedule your leisure time or your rest time. Ensure you prioritize rest as well. Eat well, sleep well, exercise. Try as much as possible to reduce stress, because there's nothing that affects the mind more than stress. There's nothing that affects the body more than stress. There's nothing that affects you more than stress. So as much as possible, try to reduce stress. Eat well, exercise, sleep well, prioritize your physical health and your mental health. Lastly, focus on consistency and progress over perfection. Anytime, any day. That is all for this video. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for being a part of this wonderful community. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.